How's it going? I'm just gonna ramble, ramble on, ramble on. That's a Led Zeppelin song. Okay, so I have like 6 gigabytes of music that I've written in the past 6 months, and I'm working to save to move into a place here. But I had in April and May when I was sleeping on the dunes. I had thrown out that I was intended to make make a record or a batch of tunes rather, because a batch of tunes is better in my opinion. That could be. It's not very commercial. It's not very exciting. It's the music, um, and things didn't work out with this guy's studio. He really doesn't like rock music or guitar music. He does signal processing and does beats, and he records one measure and then he repeats that measure. It's the same. It could be just you know, boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just one. But he's about the words and the rhymes and the dimes and the gold and the mic. And I've used lots of microphones. One of my favorites is the PZM microphone. It looks like it's a black piece of metal. Like a square, shaped like a square, and they're very good for recording acoustic guitars. But the PZM microphone is like it picks up like it picks up everything. So if somebody farts in the next room, you can. I should just wait until if people show up. I'll hang out for 10 minutes. If nobody comes, that's fine. Um, so this other job that I started during the day, some new people bought the restaurant. They don't speak English. They're from Vietnam. It's very difficult. Hey, what is up? Show me, Sasquatch. I was watching your stream today. You're walking around. How you doing, man? I look like I'm bald. Could be life treating you good. I hope. Yeah, I'm just contemplating life. I thought I'd do something. Yeah. Some new owners bought the restaurant I'm working at during the day, and at my night job, I'm making $14 an hour, and at this place, only making 10. But it is commensurate because the day restaurant that I work at during the day, there's really no work. I mean, it's really easy. You think you last there? Yeah, man, it's an easy job. It's just difficult to deal with the new owners because they don't speak English. Now I can text them and they understand. And $10 an hour. The guy offered me beer because they're not going to renew their liquor license. The new owners, the beer license. And I actually offered like a case of Corona and Blue Moon. There was some IPAs in there. Nobody wanted it. You know, I texted people and they're like, no answer. But so I gave some to my roommate, who's everything's okay right now. But so I was playing guitar earlier. I'm off tomorrow for the first time in 6 days. You know, I get a day off like once a week if I'm lucky, but I have to work 7 days a week because I have to find a place. I have to have money. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Um, my night job is more substantial. I mean, I got a raise on my birthday last month on the 29th. I don't know if I said this before, but um, the owner called me out of the kitchen into they're building a bar next door, and the bar is really nice. You know, the business is really going to pick up. But a bar means, guess what? I've got more glasses to wash, in addition to what I already do. But yeah, when he was walking me over there, I thought he was going to fire me because he looked really solemn. The guy's really cool. He's really cool. He said, look, I can tell you got a lot of experience and you're working really hard and you're doing really well, and I'm going to give you another dollar an hour. I was like, whoa, 13 to 14, which is not. I mean, I don't have a car. I don't have to worry about insurance. I don't have any dependents. I don't have any kids. Um, you know, it's just me and my guitar. That's it. Um, what's the weather like where you are, Sasquatch? What's it like? It's cold here. It feels like it's probably about 45 degrees and the high wind. So I'm really pissed because I want to watch The Many Saints of Newark. And I bought HBO Max and it's not there. You know, there are worse problems to worry about. I'm trying to keep it light here. So up in your neck of the woods, how are people? I think you've commented how people are up there. There's, I mean, you could almost say that in Cocoa Beach, it's almost February of 2020, but it's not. What is up? I hope life is good for you. I hope good fortune follows you, dude. Thank you. I'm not going through Streamlabs. I'm just going straight through YouTube. Otherwise, I put a link to join me. But I'm just using my phone because it's portable. Stupid vertical video, but I don't care. You know. I mean, for me, I just don't like it. But you know, I'm just trying to conversate. Oh, I made up a word. Just trying to conversate and have a little bit of discussions. You know, talk to some people, maybe get some input on how life is where you are and what you're going to do for your future and how you're going to stay not complying to this stuff. And see, once them blue helmets be coming in your living room, you're going to be really pissed. Cause see, these blue helmet dudes, they don't care. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather use my laptop because, yeah. Um, so them blue helmets, you know, they got a rep. They're the un. They're uncooperative, unfriendly, and dominating. And they got an agenda. I've known about the Agenda 21 for a long time. Once you start going down those rabbit holes, you can't forget this stuff, man. I read Rex 84 years ago. That was to round up people, if you get my meaning. You should read it. You'd be like, whoa, hey, this is something that Russia would do, or China. China. We got a this minor thing in California is really ridiculous, man. And poopy pants is one. That's very disturbing. They try to suppress it. Crap. Politics, man. Just, it takes an interest in your life, or it takes an interest. It's like if you act like it doesn't affect you. Yeah, I can understand how you can live in a society where politics are pop culture. It used to be that you could get involved in your voice in government, but I don't have, there's no voice of the people. There's lots of guys, there's lots of fakes, but I don't know if I'm striking a chord here. I could strike a chord on my guitar. I don't want to disturb my neighbors, though, because if I play, I'm not going to be able to play very loud, and you won't be able to hear it. But I was working on "Running Down a Dream" by Tom Petty. I played it last week at an open mic, and I got some great responses. Yeah. What's really funny in First Amendment audits or when you're filming in public and people wearing a muzzle walk up and they go, "You don't take my picture." Man, your face is covered. Get on down the road. Now take off your mask and say that. I could understand if you're upset you got your little mug on my video, but I ain't interested in you. That happened to me, just like it happens to a lot of people who video record in public or do that stuff. And here in Cocoa Beach, I see the Cocoa Beach cops pull people over. They always team up. There's always two of them. They always do that in every town, don't they? It's two cops per pullover. They start with that. And it's weird. PDF was talking about how Amagansett flags your video. Yeah, exactly. Of course. Oh, yeah. After my wife passed away in 2010, I went on YouTube and I had this comment on a video, and somebody made an account with her photograph. What kind of person would do that to somebody? 2011. I kind of would like to go back to 2011. I'm sorry about that, man. But at any rate, YouTube is a psychopath. Yeah. I'd actually like to go back to my last year of high school with what I know now. Boy, ooh, geez. I'd probably end up in a mental institution. Predict the bombing in '93 at the World Trade Center and all that. Yeah, and don't get involved in Iraq. You're crazy. Get out of here. There's money to be made over there. There's oil. There's minerals in the mountains to make computer chips. Come on, get out of here. We got private contractor, military people. They need work. Yeah. And of course, can't forget the opium in Afghanistan. I'm not a fan of Apple. Uh, I've never invested. I've never done that with my money. Um, I don't even buy lottery tickets. But I know that's not at all the same. But um, I know that in 1987, if I bought $50 a share of Dell, that I'd probably be very rich right now. I'm not that kind of person, man. I mean, I'd like to make money putting a record out and playing music. That's what I need to do. So, yesterday, went to an open mic, and oh God, and Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, just swipe it and move on. Bunch of old guys, and that's not. I'm an old guy, but it was like a band showed up and they played a set, and they played a lot of blues, and it was really cool. And I kept trying to record one or two songs, but the other guitar player kept stomping his feet when he's playing his guitar. It was a wooden stage in the back of this bar on Merritt Island. A lot of drunk people in the afternoon, And he would just get into it and start, and my phone just kept falling, so I just left it alone. Yes, me too. Well, I'm not really a singer, but I mean, I can sing. It's a circumstantial talent. It's not really something that I mean, because when I was in my band, when we didn't have a singer, we had two different female vocalists over the 7 years we were together. And they all ended up getting lead singer disease. I don't need you. You're just a bass player. You're just a guitar. You're just a drummer. I'm gonna be famous. All right. So I would fill in and Jay, what is happening? What is happening? Lead singer disease. Anybody know what that is? Lead singer disease. I think David Lee Roth had that in 1984 when the tour ended. Noel Monk's book. He managed Van Halen from 1978 to 84, and on the bus at the last show of Van Halen, David Lee Roth is on the bus saying how he's going to be a movie star and all this stuff. La la. But no, he's cool. I mean, personality, man. Dave, he's an aesthetic. David Lee Roth is like, he can be vulgar, but he's classy. Those days are gone. Real, true, human-created music. I mean, there are some bands out there that are struggling. They're still playing, and I love that. But like this guy I work with at my day job, all the stuff he listens to is all like homogenized by computers, and it's all pitch corrected, and it's all filtered. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's just like, so I played some stuff that, I played a couple of my songs, and he was like, why are you working here? Why? That's you? I'm like, yeah, so what? I mean, if it doesn't pay the bills, I'm not sure how to end that one. I got $600 saved to move. I'm looking around here. I don't know if you know Cocoa Beach in Cape Canaveral. Dude, there is some great electronica. I mean, I used to play with synthesizers when I was a kid. My mom, was a singer, and she had keyboard players that she worked with who had Mini Moogs and ARP 2600s, these synthesizers, and I was fascinated by it. But there is some great ambient electronica, and it has a place, in my opinion. But when you have a drummer, you have a rhythm section, a bass player, and a drummer. Auto tune drives me batshit, especially when they uh, when they use it to enunciate words and they break the like the it's like so you put that person in front of a microphone without any processing. What are they going to do? Hmm? I can't really sing, man. It was the producer. It's not my fault. Millie Vanilli are my hero. Girl, it's true. Hmm. So where is everybody visiting me from? I had a pawn shop. Christmas time said I need. What was that? Catch the end of that. Christmas. Get him a paycheck. That's pretty funny. Actually, I could say something about club owners. Yeah, we're going to pay you $500 to play 5 sets. Hey, what is up? Cindy Krista. Uh, okay, there was one time we played in Baltimore at this dive. This was like 1989. And the bill was with a band called Killing Joke, which is a British punk band. They're pretty well known. And their bass player had produced my band. Interval, that's what we were called. Kansas, of course, yeah. You're at Kansas. I like Kansas. Um, well, I don't. I'm not doing through Streamlabs. I mean, I'm not doing. I'm just going straight through Facebook. I mean, ugh. Did I say that? Golly, I said Facebook. Ugh. Um, Not feeling good. What are your symptoms? I'm sure you know how to take care of yourself. I'm just maybe something you haven't thought of, maybe to make yourself feel better. I breathe through my nose constantly. There's a reason why you have hairs in your nose. It filters out a lot of stuff. Oh man, God. I had a girlfriend who had that. And guys can get that too. Males can get that. She was eating hydrocodone like candy. It's like you have to go to the black market to get that now. No doctor is going to give you anything for pain. But I do green kratom because I have old injuries. Oh, yes. And getting sleep, forget about it. You can't even watch something. You can't even focus on a book or watch a program because the pain is just like, ah. And don't watch anything with anybody, getting hurt because then you're like, oh, God, ah. That's, yeah. That's good. That's what freedom is, you know? If you don't like drugs, don't take them. Um, I really like cannabis. I mean, my ancestors grew it, so. And I certainly ain't going to ask Uncle Sam if I can smoke a joint. That's not going to happen. But it's interesting, the legalization of marijuana has padded a lot of pockets that don't deserve it. However, I think they're doing the right thing with the money to fund uh, programs is important. Put it back into the community. what was it? What was I talking about? Um, oh God, my short-term memory. It's exactly. It's the cannabis. um, oh, music. Okay. Um, I met a drummer. He's not really. My mom had a lot of music connections, live music. Yeah. Okay, so in 1989 we were playing at this. I don't even remember what the place is called in Baltimore, and the club owner gives us $600, and we're a trio. Okay, it's three people, guitar, bass, drums, and I was singing. And we played 5 sets. It's 12:30. We broke down the PA and everything like that. And he goes, "I'm gonna have to send you a check." Can't you just give me a check now? I can deposit it. I don't have my checkbook. Well, you can go to the bank. And he got a bouncer or two. Now, my band manager, the guy was such an awesome dude. His name was Lowell Moore, and he died of stomach cancer about 8 years ago. But he was a badass. I mean, he was a bike courier like me. He was my manager at Time Life Books when I used to sell the books on the phone back in 1983, 84. And anyway, so he's like, "Well, how about this? We'll follow you to the ATM." And I said, "Well, what about the till and the bar?" And the place was packed. They sold like lots of beer. We played mostly covers, but there were uh, versions of covers. You know, Interval, we made songs our own. We played covers, but we made them our own. Okay, we put our dovetail or our signature on them. And the guy said, "You guys said we sounded great. He just didn't want to pay us." That's what was going on. So we're in the van. We're in our band van. We packed everything up, and we're following him. He takes off. "Thanks. Have a nice day." That's what it's like. For some club owners, you got to be careful. I'm not saying all. There's a lot of really great bar owners. No, 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 no. Just this guy in Baltimore. Oh, God, man. I got a great anecdote my mother told me years ago. My mother used to sing jazz, okay? And she's doing a gig. I think it was with a trio, a upright bass, piano player, whatnot. And she's singing like Green Dolphin Street and jazz tunes, the fake book. And so there was a couple that came in. They were talking. They were just like la 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 la. La. The piano player is this guy Bruce Harrison is amazing, guy, amazing. He's a really cool dude. Um, anyway, my mother sat down. They invited my mother when mom was on a break, so my mom sits down at their table, and the woman says, "So we work for a living. What do you do?" My mom also worked at a gas station pumping gas. It was just me and her. Um, she always put food on the table, man. My mom was, she loved music and art, but when the when the rubber meets the road, man, my mom kept my stomach full and had clean clothes. Weren't great, you know. There were things I liked. There was a show called Space 1999. It had Barbara Bain and what the actor, okay. And she bought me a die-cast metal eagle, the spacecraft. The plot of the show was that there's a moon base and there's some catastrophe and the moon gets separated from the Earth. And so the series is about these people surviving on a moon base while the moon is just adrift in space. And it's pretty good. It was actually really good. It's, I think 1 or 2 seasons. But at any rate, my mom was very encouraging about reading books, listening to music. She would always, we'd drive around and she'd give me vocal lessons. That's one of the reasons I breathe through my nose. All the best singers don't sing through their nose, they breathe through their nose. You can get much more power from your lungs by breathing through your nose. Now, a lot of people who breathe through their mouth, that's fine, but overall, to get a good projection, you want to sing from your chest, and you want to, you can sing softly, but so I think by the time I was 11, I had perfect pitch. So when I'd hear the Bee Gees, I'd say, "God, that guy's out of tune." That's intentional, I think that the Bee Gees made a substantial amount of money, and look at me. Let's see. The most money I ever made in music, I was a session guitar player at Full Sail University, which is a school for video game design, film production. That's funny. That's very funny. And I was a session guitarist, and what they needed 3 days a week, I would go to the recording degree department, and I would sit in the recording studio in a booth with a Marshall amp and my guitar, and that's funny. And I'd sit there and I'd wear cans, headphones, and they'd talk back to me from the control room, and and some students would come in and learn how to position the mic in front of the cabinet to get different sounds, to get different, EQs and whatnot. They just needed a guitar player to sit in there and play chords. A couple times they said, "Hey man, crank that thing up and you wail." It was fun. I sit there for 6 hours, $1,200 a week. 3 days a week, $1,200 a week in 2002. That was so awesome. And Full Sail was like less than a mile from my apartment. And I met some cool people there too, man. People in game design, video game design. I wish I still had that Rolodex I had back then, because a lot of those people have worked on games like Call of Duty. They do motion capture and all that stuff. I do that during, yeah. But yeah, my first time I was in a recording studio, my mom was a singer and she got work singing jingles for the radio. And there was a furniture chain back in the day. Fascinating. Some girl just texted me that I work with. She's really nice. I like her. We have a lot in common. We can talk for hours and time goes by real quick. That doesn't happen very much. Anyway, so I was probably 14 or 13, and I went to recordings. They needed a child to sing this jingle, Mahler's Furniture, Mahlers. Hey, you're really not old enough, but since you are not, oh, I am into jazz. Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm into a lot of different kinds of music. Let's see, what did you say? Do you remember? I do not know Alan. I'd never heard of him. So Mahler's Furniture was I guess a furniture chain in the Northeast of the United States. Okay, and they needed. I think I did 3 tracks. Um, Mahlers, my home is filled with love. That's what I sang. Oh, Bango Flying Circus. Don't know them. Oh, what is that? Ben, I don't know Bango Flying Circus. Never heard of that band. Never heard of them. Madura? You mean Maduro? That's like a, isn't that a Hispanic boy band? Am I wrong? Please tell me. So yeah, I did this jingle, and I learned how to wear cans. Look, in the studio, you call headphones, you call them cans, okay? Just joking. You can call them whatever you want. And I had a Sennheiser microphone with a spit screen, and I sang this jingle, and I got a paycheck. I think it was for like $45 or $50 for like, I don't know, 45 minutes or something like that. And there was a bookstore right underneath the recording studio, and this was downtown, DuPont Circle area. Recording studio, I think, is gone now. Anyway, Second Story Books, this bookstore anyway, I go in the bookstore. I spent all my money on books. First book, I bought a Twilight Zone book. It was written by Rod Serling. It was really cool. So next day I go to school, and I'm talking. I'm trying to tell about my experience with Chick. Let's see. I want to see what you said. I hate it when people ignore me when I comment. No, I'm sorry, I don't know them. Daniel E. Meza, okay. Documentary, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I really find, I find these tucked away channels that are just little gems. The algorithm is so cruel. It's like, look at this stuff. And I'm like, no, I want to find what I want. I don't want you to tell me what I want. That's why to some degree, I like the internet, because that way you can be proactive. You can really choose, and create what you watch. Anyway, so next day I went to school, and I was talking at the playground about this jingle. Bad idea. You think you're something special, man? You think you're singing some stupid commercial? No. It's like kids, man. Oh, yeah. Yes. Look, a couple years back, I uploaded a song that I wrote in 1987 called Pasted Faces. It has lyrics and everything. Alan did one beer commercial. Oh, wow. And I posted this song called Pasted Faces, and I uploaded it, put tags, and did the description, and it was up for a couple of years. And I went back to it. Somebody commented and said, "Hey, man, this sounds really like your bass is out of tune." So I go to the video, and they digitally altered my song so it sounded like garbage. I don't know if it's like a computer thing or something was done, but see, YouTube. One of the things that I noticed is the general public is addicted to signal processing. Okay, pitch correction, filters to make stuff sound sweet. So the reality of the expression is homogenized and processed. It's like when you drain the character out of something and just make it a slate. I don't like that. I can tell when somebody is not really a good singer and they arpeggiate the it's like it was done digitally. It's like, and people like it. People, it presses a pleasure center in their brain, I think. Like a guitar solo that I like presses a pleasure center in my brain. Okay? So people are quietly addicted to signal processing. They want homogenized, simple. I'm not trying to cut down simple music. I mean, I write a lot of simple stuff. I'm not like some John Petrucci or Steve Vai or Frank Zappa. No way. But there is simple music that is genuine and passionate. Now, that is what matters. But when you homogenize and filter and alter and tweak and arpeggiate the notes with the digital thing, and you got to do this thing, and God, there's some rap. I mean, I like some rap. I mean, I really respect writers. So there's some really great writers and rap artists. But you ever figure out all your years playing? Oh yeah. One of the things that I noticed as a kid, audiences don't start clapping until the lyrics start. I don't recognize that. Oh, where are the words, man? What is this? Come on, where are the words? I mean, I write music with words, but it usually comes together. All the songs that I've written that have lyrics, they came to me when I wrote the music. Unless I'm working with a singer, then I'm going to say, hey, what do you think of this? Can you write something to this? Collaboration, be a team. Let's create something that wasn't there. I really believe in my music. I mean, the music that I've made, if somebody else did my music, I would like it. I would subscribe. I mean, I would listen to it. It's not that I think it's great. It's just I make what I want to hear. I hear it in my head and I go, oh, okay, well, here it is. Sometimes I'm just channeling something and it really isn't mine. I mean, those are some of the things I'm most proud of. But my version of Young Lust by Pink Floyd, the song From the Wall, I learned it off the radio, and recorded it in 2007 or 2008 with my buddy Norman up in D.C. He had Vegas Pro and SoundForge, and he had a drum kit in the practice room. He took egg cartons, and he had this room that was all soundproofed, and we did that song in a day. Now, when I first posted my version of Young Lust by Pink Floyd, I got a copyright notice. And about a week later, I got an email saying that the publisher of Pink Floyd's music wants to share revenue. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that somebody at the publishing company listened to my version and they smiled. And they said, well, we'll share revenue with them. But my channel is not monetizable. I would need to take down some stuff. And I mean, over the years, I have made videos private. I have made them unlisted. And those YouTube video flaggers, in 2016, they hired 10,000 accounts to flag videos. All right. Now, these people have special tools. I don't know if you remember the video they put out. Actually, on my channel somewhere, I make fun of their video. I slow it down and make it really like, like intestinal blockage. It's really disgusting, because when you give somebody financial incentive to flag videos, that's really horrible. I mean, I'm not saying that bad things need to be, popularized. I'm just saying, like I had a video that was instrumental music that just had a blank screen. It was just a song I wrote, and it got flagged for obscenity. Somebody saw one of my other videos, and said, "This guy's a jerk. I'm gonna flag his video." Yeah, it was an instrumental piece of music, no lyrics. Oh, it's obscene. It's obscene. It's dirty. It's gross. So I appealed it. We're sorry, but our team reviewed your reasons, and we're going to keep the video off YouTube. It's on, I think it's on BitChute. I have a BitChute. I have an Odyssey. But I've gone to Minds. I went to Minds back in 2000. What was that? Steam It? Okay. I went to Steam It. And I tried to create a channel. And somebody already made a DVincentW. And they used an old avatar that I had. I was like, that's not me. Oh, someone who works there doesn't, yeah. I mean, because, not that like I make any impact. It's just sometimes there's people in these companies that they don't particularly, and they'll be having a bad day, or their boyfriend didn't give them a tow job, and they're just like sitting in their cubicle going, man, I just do not want, I hate this guy. He's a middle-aged white guy and he plays guitar. It's so boring, So whatever. Let's talk about something positive. Anybody have any suggestions? Anybody have any good recipes? I like to make lasagna. Yep. You got that right. The deaf girl a few months ago, who I gave her 3 guitar lessons, and she could talk fine. She's just deaf. She was really good at reading lips, and she could feel music. She could feel the vibrations in the air. Like she had acoustic guitar, and I'd bring over my Kramer, and I'd play through my little practice amp, and just show her chords, and she would start crying. She'd be like, "Oh my God, this is great! I'm learning," and I'm like, "Oh God," like, wow, deaf girl, more power to her, man. And it was $35 an hour. They were really happy. Her parents, they give me $100 bill, man. And they were like, "Thank you," And I'm glad they invested in a good guitar for her. They bought her a $1,500 Taylor. That guitar is going to last her whole life. If she takes care of it, that's a professional instrument. When she makes progress, she is going to have a guitar she deserves. And when I was up there, there was my aunt had a neighbor who had a kid who was a dwarf. This boy was a dwarf, and he had really small hands. Whew. Man, I don't like Martin guitars. I'm sorry. I've played so many of them, and they just sound, maybe it was the strings, I don't know. But Taylor's, they have a beefy brown resonance. Maybe it's the wood. Now, Martins do sound great, but there's something. I don't like Paul Reed Smith guitars either. I mean, they sound great, but it's just not the guitar for me. I don't know why that is. Maybe I need a psychiatrist. I don't like Paul Reed Smith guitars, and I don't like Martin guitars. Something's wrong with me, don't you think? Because those are good guitars. They're just not my cup of tea. I drink Kratom, green, sometimes. But yeah, after the third lesson, she was learning Beatles songs and singing, and I left after, and I had to come back down here from northern central Florida, and I cried, Hey man, silver tones are great. Also Hagstrom guitars were Silvertone. Those were sold by Sears. My mother bought me a Rickenbacker, okay, in I think 1979. I didn't like it. Now I'd seen The Who. I mean, I'd seen The Kids Are Alright came out in '79, I think. And I'd seen Quadrophenia, I think. Or was that 1980, Quadrophenia? But I was really into Pete Townsend, man. Pete Townsend is a mother. He is a mother guitar player. No, a Rickenbacker guitar. My mother bought it for me from a musician friend of hers, and I didn't like it. I didn't really know, but my mother, for 3 years, I played a flamenco guitar. I started on a fat-necked, flat fretboarded Spanish flamenco guitar with nylon strings. And I used to jump around in my room listening to Kiss, pretending I was Ace Frehley with this guitar. Maserati held a I think I missed that one. Rickenbacker does make guitars. They're not my cup of tea. What's this with the cup of tea stuff? Mosereet? What was that you said? You held a Moserite. Oh. See, my mom worked with guitar players, so I would pick stuff up. I'd go to my mom's gigs, and I'd go up on stage and look at his setup. Like if he's got, they're playing Chicago and Aretha Franklin, stuff like that. And I was lucky. I say that a lot about my childhood because we were not rich, but the intent was to self-actualize your learning and thereby want to learn. Self-actualization, curiosity, fascination, creativity. Young minds, they get excited. Oh my God, I can do this. No, I'm not just talking about music. I'm talking about carpentry, whatever it is, playing football. But music in particular, I think I mean, if you look through history about a lot of, I'll use Eddie Van Halen again as an example. Eddie Van Halen could not read music. And when he was like 8 or 9, he was in piano class and he would hear the thing, he'd hear it and he could play it. And he fooled his teacher. He put the sheet music up, but the teacher realized that he was still playing and he wouldn't turn the page or the whatever. I wasn't like that. Although Jesus Christ Superstar, the opera. I remember hearing that, and there was a upright piano, and I went right to the piano and played it. That happened to me actually once. Jesus Christ Superstar, who in the heck do you think you are? I'm not a musical fan. You know, it used to drive me crazy as a kid. My mother took me to see the Sound of Music. I didn't like that. It was too loud. I was like, why are they singing? They're poor. Why do they keep singing? People break out in song all of a sudden, you know? And, you know, I can understand, you know, I do understand the point of a musical. Okay, I got it. And I appreciate Sondheim and all this stuff, you know? One of my favorite, it's not really a musical, but it is more of a rock opera. Of course, Tommy. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Has anybody in here seen Hedwig? Hedwig. It's about this singer or musician wants to get out of communist or Berlin, and so he's very creative. You'd have to see the movie to get this. He has to. The only way you can get out on the other side of the wall is to leave something behind, and he. I don't know. The music is great. You know, it's great stuff. And if you don't have to be a musician to appreciate it. They're playing in like Chinese buffet restaurants, and like, you know, it's really funny. People are walking up with their plates, and you know, they're playing a set. Let's see. Musicals. Does anybody have any musicals that they like? The Wall is one of my favorites, man. I remember going to see The Wall, midnight movie on the weekends, you know, when I was in high school. We used to sneak beer into the theater. And first time I saw The Wall, it was like a month after my father died. And the point of that movie about his relationship with his father going and dying, you know, I think his dad was in the Pacific or something. It's really, really heavy. Oh, yeah. Bye Bye Birdie's great. Ted Nugent. I was crying. I felt bad for the character because his dad died in war. My dad made it through and had really bad survivor's guilt, I think. He never talked about it, but that's what I think. Who is that? Who's Wick? Hey, how are you doing? Wick on fire. So, musicals? Good to see you. Good to see you. You know, it's all how the musical is done. Like Oliver, you know, the poor kid who's in the orphanage. Can I have one more bowl of porridge? Thanks for asking. You know, working hard, busting my hump, trying to eke out. I hope things are good for you, Wick. It's hard. And I will be brutally honest. I had planned last May, I was going to make my record, and I met this guy who has a recording studio. It turned out that they don't really want to record rock music. They want to record one measure of music and repeat it. They don't want to set up a drum set and even plug in a guitar direct to the board or whatever, the keyboard, and so they create this one measure, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have songs I wrote. What about that? So, all right, I'm going to end the stream, and I want to wish you all the best. Don't lose hope. Remember, somebody somewhere loves you. All right, you guys take care. Good night.